I've had the FX3 for a little over 3 years now, and I just want to say this camera has been nothing short of amazing for me. It's done every shoot that I've needed to. It's been reliable. I've never had any issues with this camera. It's just there's certain features that I see in other cameras that leave me wanting a little bit more. And with rumors of the FX5 around the corner and certain features that it has or doesn't have, kind of leaves me questioning if I want to stick with Sony long term, especially when it comes to cameras like the C50 or the Panasonic S1 II. It really makes me question whether Sony is heading into the right direction. The FX3 has been great. The 4K recording, the 24, 60, 120p with minimal crop has been nothing but amazing. This camera has never failed me. It's done everything I needed to. I've never left a shoot wanting more or feeling that I couldn't accomplish something because of the camera. But I wouldn't be lying if I said that 7K open gate on the Canon doesn't look enticing. Having that flexibility to shoot for horizontal or vertical video in today's world with social media being so prevalent and 9:16 aspect ratio being so prevalent, it would be a nice thing to have. I'm not saying that the FX3 can't accomplish this. I'm just saying it would be a nice thing to have. Another thing is internal RAW recording. I'm not saying I need internal RAW recording, but for my shoots that I do personally for myself, it would be a nice thing to have. I can't lie. It would be something that I can experiment with and something that I can use to better my color grading or have more flexibility in post. It just would be a nice thing to have. Another thing I'd really like to have is false colors. Something that I've used a lot in my monitors that I use now is false colors, and to have that internally on the camera like in the C50 would be something that I really would want in the next generation of cameras. Now, I know the rumors of the FX5 say that there's false colors, internal RAW recording, and also open gate 3x2 at 5K. That's all great. That is everything I've wanted in an FX3 Mark II or an FX3 successor. My only issue is I am worried about the price that the FX5 could possibly be. The FX3 released around $3,900, $3,800, and as we know today, the FX3A is $4,300. My fear is that the FX5 will sit in between the FX3 and the FX6, which makes it more money than the FX3A. And I can't really justify spending $5,000, $5,500, or $6,000 on a camera that I'm going to use for YouTube videos, and I want to start doing like cinematic travel vlogs. I can't really justify spending that amount of money on a camera when I can get most, or if not all, or even more features in a Canon C50 or even on the Panasonic S1 II. So that has really left me thinking if I want to completely switch away from the Sony ecosystem. I have the FX3, I have an FX30, I have the 28-70 f2, I have the 16-35 f2.8. I have a lot of glass and a lot of accessories for the Sony cameras. Depending on where this release goes for Sony and the FX5 will really leave me wondering if the FX5 will be my next move, or maybe the C50. I know lack of IBIS in the C50 is a big turnoff for me, but I think it's something that I can get over. It's not a deal breaker like I thought it would be in the beginning. Now I just want to talk a little bit about the FX3. It is an amazing camera. It is something that I see being such a great camera in 5 or 10 years, and as the price comes down, it will be more accessible to more people that will create amazing content with it. I'm not saying you can't create amazing content with this camera, and I'm not even saying that the content that I create needs open gate or needs internal RAW. It's just seeing that the competition has these features and has these aspects or specs with their cameras leaves me questioning like, okay, I wouldn't mind those features and I wouldn't mind having them on my camera. I'm hoping that the FX5 is not overpriced like the majority of people online seem to think, and honestly I don't blame them because Sony does increase their prices heavily. Like the FX3A increased in price by like $400 to $500 in the last year, so I definitely don't think the FX5 is going to be a cheap camera by any means, and I think that it's going to be a mini Venice, as the rumor sites say. Makes me a little worried about the price difference, or at least the price increase over the FX3A. So I don't know. I definitely think that I've been able to shoot everything I need to on the FX3. I just definitely feel like I want a little bit more out of my cameras. I think sometimes the 4K can be a little bit of a constraint in the sense of if I want to crop in, I have to be mindful of cropping in too far because I will lose a lot of quality, as a lot of people know, and I know that's been a complaint of the 12 megapixel sensor. On the other side, the reason that it is a 12 megapixel sensor is because the low light performance is incredible. Another thing I wish that Sony would add, even if they did this in a firmware update, is just false color. I really come to love false colors, especially using it in my monitor, like I've said, but having it in the screen internally where I don't have to feel like I need to lug around a monitor, even if I'm doing like a travel vlog or something on the go, that would be really helpful. It would be really nice. Another thing I hope that Sony can maybe fix for the FX5 or in the future is the top handle. I really want 32-bit float audio, and I really would like more of a C50 style audio handle, but we'll see. I know soon the FX5 is supposed to be announced at the end of July. Something's telling me it's not gonna be everything I want it to be, and I'm gonna be left a little bit disappointed, but I am hopeful that it can meet all my expectations because I really truly love the Sony ecosystem, and I don't want to move on to Canon or Panasonic or elsewhere because I've built my gear and everything I have around the Sony ecosystem. But I'm also not gonna let that hold me back in terms of wanting a little bit more out of my cameras at a better price point. The Canon C50 offers a lot of specs and qualities that the FX3 doesn't at a lower price point. So that is something that makes me think if Sony can't win or hit all the required specifications that I have for my next camera, then it honestly makes me think jumping ship wouldn't be such a bad idea. And I've always heard such great things about the Canon colors, as everyone probably has. And also I've never heard from my experience that Canon has any issues with software updates like Sony does, bricking their cameras. Haven't had that happen to me, but I have had friends that have had it happen to them, and it's really annoying because it bricks the camera and then Sony makes you pay for the repair. So that's just a quick video on how I feel about the FX3 in 2026. I know it's 7-year-old sensor technology and a 5-year-old camera, and it's still getting compared to the likes of the C50 and the S12. It is a great camera. I'm not saying it's not, and it does everything I need it to. I just sometimes want more out of my camera and out of my purchases. Like I said in this video plenty of times, it is a $4,300 camera that doesn't have all the specs and features that a C50 has for $3,800 or $3,900. That is a big difference, and I hope that the FX5 can at least check some of those boxes for me. That way I can stay within the ecosystem, because I always like having the newest stuff and the newest technology, and I know that's an issue with me, but that is something I just like having. But I'm hoping that the FX5 can at least hit on those marks. As long as it has IBIS, as long as it has open gate, as long as it has internal raw and false colors, honestly I will probably be sticking with the Sony ecosystem and then saving up for that camera. But if it doesn't have some of those things, or if the price is vastly different or just way too much money for the offering, I probably will switch systems, because the Canon C50 just really looks like a good buy, and it just has a lot of the features that I really want at such a great price point. Anyways, I wanted to thank you guys for over 100 subscribers on the YouTube channel. I know I haven't posted in a while, but I definitely want to start posting again and getting back into the game, because I really enjoy posting. I just need to find time to do it more often and consistently. So thank you guys. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and let me know if you guys want to see anything else. See ya.